guru. How are you doing, Al?
Hey, Al.
I'm good, guys. How you doing?
Good, man. So what's like the temperature of Met and Yankee fans? Are they satisfied with what they're seeing on the field?
No, I think both fans aren't. Let's take the Yankees first. I think the Yankees feel like the younger kids got called up too quickly. Maybe it's time to retool stuff a little bit. But Hal Steinbrenner has said earlier this week, we're not sending Volpe down. This is how we're going to do it. We're in a good spot right now, and we're going to, we'll tweak some things if we need to. And to be fair, they have been a little bit of a seesaw, but at least they're winning games. They're winning some series. They're doing some things here. On the other side, Met fans are screaming because the owner opened up his wallet. He went out and got Verlander. He went out and got, these pieces of the puzzle that everybody felt that the Mets needed, and they really haven't done the job that they need to do. You want to blame the pitch clock. You want to blame injuries. You can blame a number of different things. I just think collectively they just haven't put it together as a team, whereas last year they sort of had the right nuts and bolts. They got the key hits when they needed it, the key fielding when they needed it, and now it seems like it's not happening, and they're pressing. And that's where I feel like Met fans are very upset because they want to see them, let's just call everybody else up from the minors. Well, that's not going to happen either. So I do think that Buck needs to make some moves in terms of if guys are slumping after 4 or 5 games, it's time to pull somebody and put somebody else in there and see what they can do because this can get away very quickly right now. I mean, you're what, six back of the Braves, 7 back of the Braves? It could spiral into 15 before the All-Star break.
When am I going to start hearing talk like I heard on the south side of Chicago last year? This guy's too old. He can't relate to the new player today. This Buck Showalter, I don't know, Al.
No, I don't think you're going to hear that because Buck has the attention of everybody in that dugout. He knows what he's doing. He does relate to the younger players. I don't think you're going to hear that Buck is too old. I just don't see it. It just that's not Buck's way. He knows what's going on. He's not. He's no dummy. And you have an owner that is patient. Whereas the previous regime, they wanted instant results, and if it didn't happen, they were going to bang a guy in the middle of the season. Buck's going nowhere. I don't think Steve Cohen has any intention of letting him go. I think Buck's here for the long haul.
Al Gatullo from 970 The Answer in New York. You grew up on sports talk radio in New York. So did I, and it's rabid. These fans are rabid. When are they going to start getting on the analytics parts of these organizations and get these people fired? Yankees are hitting 232 as a team. Ooh. Mets, and that is 12th worst in the American League. Mets are 13th worst in the National League, hitting 240 collectively. That is someone, and I said this earlier, that is someone that is in a position of power telling you can suck and it's okay. It's not. You get unproductive at bats, way too many strikeouts. What were 22 strikeouts last night? They can't move runners along in extra innings. They can't even bunt them over. So, I mean, to me, it's fundamentally, it's like foul shooting in the NBA. You're going to lose a lot of games if your team shoots 40% from the line collectively. Right. So these guys are so bad collectively. Yeah, you could put a bunch of superstars together, but if you tell everybody in the room that it's okay to hit even LeMahieu stinks. It's tough. I love that guy. I thought this guy is a Hall of Famer. He's one of the best right-handed hitters I've ever seen. Last 2 years, this guy has tanked and gone over a cliff. I don't get it other than that they're brainwashed into failure.
I don't disagree with you, Rob. I mean, honestly, the bunting is a lost art. You don't see guys doing it anymore, and I think it should be taught more, not this sort of spring training, let's spend one day on bunting and that's it. I think players would be getting more hits that way, but they're told by their teams, hey, if you get the hits or their agents, if you get the hits, you get the hits, you're going to get the big contract. But the bottom line is, don't you want to win the game? Don't you want to be in a position where you can win a World Series? You can manufacture that in other ways. Look at IFK last night. He stole home. They didn't even make a move. I mean, Escobar didn't even try and make a move to get him back to third base. I was stunned when I saw that. That shouldn't happen. That should not happen. Fundamentals are a lost art, whether it's baseball, football, and even basketball. You just don't see fundamentals anymore. Everybody is looking for the one swing, the big win, whatever the case may be, and it's sad.
What's up with the sticky stuff in the Mets locker room?
It's funny. I was talking with somebody about this today. I think the whole thing with the sticky stuff is very arbitrary. I agree with the players when they say there's one group of umpires that say it's okay. There's another group that says it isn't. It should be uniform for everyone.
Yep.
Why is it that the Mets, it seems like, are being singled out for guys who are just using sweat and rosin, and that's it? And it's sticky, and they go and wash their hands off, and it's still sticky again. What do these guys expect? They're building up a sweat when they're sitting on the mound. You see how when Max Scherzer pitches, the guy's on the mound for 10 seconds. He's dripping wet.
But can I stop you right now, Al? They're 13th in pitching. If they were cheating so well, they'd be third. But they have they have a 4.69 collective ERA. Their starters are not that good. Their all-star closer is hurt and not going to pitch this year. I mean, seriously. I mean, it's absurd thinking that they're getting some kind of advantage by some stickiness.
Right, because you're right. If they were getting an advantage,
they'd be better.
They've won exactly 3 games in the month of June. So, by the way, the sweat and rosin ain't helping them.
It's not working.
So, no, not working.
Do you make a big deal about the Jets canceling minicamp?
No, not really. I think they've done the work, and they're going to put the work in the summer. Look, I love the fact that Aaron Rodgers was there, and he wasn't in a cave in California somewhere. I think
that's a start.
My thing is this with Aaron Rodgers, right? They showed him for the last 3 weeks. Oh, he's at Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I saw
this. He's at Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
He's at the Tonys. He's at this. He's at that. This is something, especially in New York. If it was another city, nobody would care. But this is something where this could go spectacularly wonderful for the Jets, or it could be an unmitigated disaster by the end of September. That's the Jets' luck. It's all or none. It's either they're going all the way and they're going to win with this guy, or he gets injured third game of the season, his hamstring snaps or something or whatever, and he goes down, and that's it. He's done for the year, and fans will be beside themselves. So I would like to see less of Aaron Rodgers in the papers on page 6 in the New York Post, and more sort of settling in with his team. And I think he's going to do that. I think he's re-energized and recommitted to wanting to win a championship for this team. And if anybody's going to do it, it certainly could be him.
All right, we're talking to Al Gatullo from 970 The Answer. You can also get his Craft Beer Cast 11 p.m. on Sunday on 970 out of New York. Let me ask you, okay, the NBA season's over, the NHL season's over, your New York teams, what's the chatter? How do the Knicks get better? How do the Nets get better? We've changed some coaches. We fired some coaches. But what are you hearing about personnel changes? I mean, on the court and on the ice.
I think for the Knicks, I think they're just going to continue to get better. I think that they will try and plug a hole or a piece where they can. As for the Nets, they're a team in disarray, and I don't know, honestly, if Brooklyn is going to be able to get themselves out of this. They've had, they thought they had this dream team. It didn't happen. They got rid of, the pieces of that dream team, and now they're sort of in this, rebuilding mode, and what are we going to do? I honestly don't know what Brooklyn is going to do. They certainly have an owner that has money to spend. I don't know how much they're going to be able to spend, due to cap restraints. The Knicks, on the other hand, have pieces of the puzzle that I think that they can move forward with, and I think Knicks fans will be happy with whatever team they put on the court next season because the upside of how they played this past season helps them. On the hockey side, look, the Rangers made the biggest splash. Forget about the Islanders and the Devils for a minute. The Rangers signing Peter Laviolette as their new head coach is probably the best move that they made. Peter is a proven winner. He took the Islanders 3 straight years to the playoffs when he became a head coach for the Islanders. He took the Flyers to a cup. He won a cup with the Carolina Hurricanes. He took the Nashville Predators to a cup. The biggest detraction of Peter Laviolette is his message wears thin after a while. He's got 3 years. He's got to get it done in 2 because these players are not going to want to hear him in their face, and he will get in their face. He is not shy about challenging a player. He's not shy about motivating people. He is a guy who will get the job done. He will take this team to the playoffs. Whether or not he gets to the cup, that's a different story, but you have to look at the track record. Every team that he's coached, except for the Capitals, he's gotten them into the playoffs and gotten at least 3 teams, 3 teams into the Cup finals.
Is he a reflection of Chris Drury, the GM? Because I always thought Chris was kind of a hard-ass player.
Yeah, he was. I mean, Peter is the type of guy. Yeah, Peter's the type of guy who will definitely challenge you. Yeah, I could see him being in the same vein as Chris Drury, certainly. But again, he's motivated people before, and he's not shy about benching stars either. If a guy is not playing up to what he thinks is his potential, Peter will sit him. I mean, he will not hesitate at all to sit somebody. So I think it's a great move by the Rangers, and it remains to be. We'll see what happens next season, how they move forward.
Saquon doesn't want the franchise tag, wants to negotiate for a new deal. Whose side of the saga of Saquon do you fall on, Al?
I'm on the Giants side on this one, 100%. Saquon's got to keep his mouth shut. I'm sorry, but, look, the bottom line is this is an organization that during the season offered him $13 million with incentives to get to $14 million. He turned it down. He wanted to play it out. Okay, that's fine. The highest paid running back right now in the NFL is making $16 million. He's making $10.1 when he signs the contract. Where are they going to go? They're not paying him $17 million. They offered him what I thought was a fair deal at 14. They're not giving him 15. I think he has played himself out as a Giant. I think what's going to ultimately end up happening is if they don't come to terms before training camp, he signs the $10 million, he plays out the season, and he's gone after the season. I don't think the Giants have any problem letting him go. Running backs are replaceable. We've seen that throughout the league in the last 15 to 20 years. It's a passing league. It's not a running league anymore.
Been watching a lot of golf. We got the U.S. Open coming up this weekend. What spirits am I drinking from the beer world?
Whiskey.
It's not a beer, Al.
That's not a beer, but
listen. No, you should kick back, relax, have a couple of bourbons. Yesterday was National Bourbon Day.
Nice.
Have a bourbon while you're watching golf. I honestly find golf to be one of the most boring sports on the planet.
Oh, Al.
I am not a golf guy. I would have no patience of playing golf. I'd be throwing golf clubs all over the place. By the way, the security guard who tackled the guy at the Canadian Open last week, an NFL team should sign him immediately. The form he had,
I agree.
Taking that PGA player out was fantastic.
See, things are starting to look up. We're almost getting fighting. At least security's tackling pros.
Yeah,
I love it.
Could you wait a second? Could you imagine if two golf players got into a fight?
I've been saying it for 20 years. I would love it.
Might happen this week.
Swinging clubs, throwing golf balls at one another.
I thought they had Koepka and Rory together.
Yeah, that is happening.
Yeah.
No, but then it's the caddies. The caddies are like the goalies. Do we fight? Do we not fight? Like they look at one another. I don't know. Am I going to get a tip if I
What was Tiger's old guy? Fluff?
I don't fight?
That was his name with the mustache. That guy ain't fighting.
Yes.
Yeah, Fluffer Nutter. He's not fighting. You get hurt. Al, you are the best, my friend. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Al.
You got it, guys. Have a good week.
All right, be well. Al Gatullo, everybody. Check out his Craft Beer Cast every Sunday, 11 p.m. on 970 The Answer. All right, coming up next. First dibs question of the day. It's pretty obvious since it's Thursday, U.S. Open Day, but we'll give it to you anyway next.